Hailstorms and damaging winds swept through Florida this weekend, battering everything from quiet Palm Bay neighborhoods to the bustling streets of Miami, while the very same storm system unleashed a deadly tornado hours earlier in southern Alabama, turning an ordinary late May weekend into a multi-state weather disaster that residents won't soon forget.
Did it get you? Oh, yeah.
The first hints of trouble came just before noon on Saturday when the National Weather Service's Melbourne radar began painting bright pink cores, signatures of rapidly growing hail over inland Brevard and Osceola counties. Temperatures were already pushing 93 degrees Fahrenheit, with heat index values flirting with triple digits. That boiling, moisture-laden air collided with converging Atlantic and Gulf Sea breezes, and the atmosphere lit up. By 1:45 p.m., the NWS had fired off its second severe thunderstorm warning of the day, this one for northern Brevard. Within minutes, social media feeds filled with videos of whiteout hail, pea-sized at first, then marble, then full-on golf ball stones rattling rooftops like machine gun fire. Residents in Cocoa and Rockledge reported skylights shattering and patio screens shredded as hail clattered off cars, leaving quarter-inch dents across hoods and trunks. Farther south in Palm Bay, the storm's gust front arrived with a banshee howl. Winds estimated at 60 miles per hour tore through subdivision streets, snapping limbs and slamming trash cans down driveways. A towering live oak, perhaps a century old, splintered mid-trunk, sending a school bus-length branch crashing onto a single-story home on Tahoe Court. Palm Bay Fire Rescue raced in, chainsaws buzzing through the downpour. Remarkably, the branch stopped at the roofline, and the family inside escaped unharmed. Fire Rescue Lieutenant Sarah Nguyen described the scene. The tree looked like it exploded from the inside. You could see rings of fresh wood everywhere, like a peeled onion. All along A95, drivers pulled onto the shoulder as sheets of hail reduced visibility to zero. Lightning struck power poles near Vera, tripping transformers and plunging 8,000 customers into darkness. In downtown Melbourne, rainfall exceeded 3 inches in 45 minutes, overwhelming storm drains and turning Strawbridge Avenue into a river deep enough to push wheel-floating sedans sideways. While Central Florida reeled, the focus shifted south. Overnight, the Storm Prediction Center, SPC, had quietly nudged the risk level higher for Broward and Miami-Dade counties, citing a pocket of sheer energy pinwheeling up from the Florida Straits. At dawn, meteorologists at CBS Miami declared a next weather alert day, warning viewers that isolated cells could intensify explosively after 2 p.m. They were right. By 3:30 p.m., towering cumulonimbus clouds, visible from Brickell's high-rises, began dumping torrential rain over the Everglades. Driven by strong upper-level winds, those storms drifted due east, slamming first into Miramar and Pembroke Pines. Hail pelted parking lots outside the shops at Pembroke Gardens, sending shoppers sprinting for cover. Wind gusts up to 58 miles per hour knocked out traffic lights along Pines Boulevard and toppled a dozen royal palms, their root balls lifted clean from waterlogged medians. In Fort Lauderdale, lightning illuminated a waterspout spinning just offshore of Las Olas Beach. Lifeguards herded tourists off the sand minutes before the funnel dissipated, accompanied by a roar of thunder so close it set off car alarms. Miami-Dade's turn came after 5 p.m. A supercell barreled out of the Everglades, producing torrential blinding rain from Doral to Coral Gables. Meteorologists noted a brief hail core near Sweetwater, rare for the urban corridor, while Biscayne Bay disappeared beneath a gray curtain of rain. The deluge arrived precisely at evening rush. The Palmetto Expressway ground to a halt under standing water, and Metro Mover service slowed to restricted speeds because of repeated lightning strikes near substations. Well before Florida's chaos, southern Alabama had already paid the storm's opening price. At 7:12, a .M comma, a rotating updraft over Covington County, tightened into a textbook wedge tornado 2 miles southwest of Andalusia. Residents barely had 5 minutes between the first tornado warning and the moment the funnel roared across Highway 55. The twister stayed on the ground for nearly 9 miles, shredding double wides, tossing grain silos into pine stands, and snapping power poles like matchsticks. Covington County EMA Director Marcus Hall said at least 38 structures suffered major damage. Had it struck an hour later when more folks were awake and outside, we'd be looking at fatalities, he told reporters, standing beside a brick ranch house now missing its entire roof deck. Utility crews struggled to reach the worst-hit pockets because fallen hardwoods blocked farm roads. Chainsaw brigades from neighboring Escambia County arrived by mid-morning. By then, the parent supercell had already raced east, its outflow setting the stage for Florida's afternoon fireworks. Meteorological setup. Why it was so bad. Forecasters attribute the outbreak to a stalled frontal boundary draped across the deep south, juiced by Gulf moisture with precipitable water values above 2 inches. Daytime highs in the mid-90s drove surface CAPE past 3,500 jkg, while a 40-knot mid-level jet provided the shear necessary for rotating updrafts. In Alabama, that meant isolated tornadic supercells. In Florida, convergence along intersecting sea breeze fronts lit the fuse for hail-bearing storms. NWS Melbourne's evening discussion summed it up. Classic May setup, plenty of juice, plenty of spin, and just enough boundary interaction. We hit the trifecta. Sunday promises only a modest respite. NWS forecasters place rain chances around 40%, but heat indices will again flirt with 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Memorial Day is projected to be the next big flashpoint, with a 60% chance of afternoon storms, some possibly severe, as the lingering boundary lifts north and a weak Gulf disturbance injects fresh moisture. Across Alabama, relief teams from the Red Cross have set up at the Covington County Kiwanis building. Volunteers distribute tarps, bottled water, and hygiene kits. Engineers will begin formal damage surveys Monday. Early radar data suggests the Andalusia tornado may rank EF2, with peak winds near 115 miles per hour. For now, residents across 2 states are tallying losses. Dented cars, shattered skylights, flooded living rooms, downed lines, and memories of a Saturday where sky and ground seemed to trade places. The message from emergency officials could not be plainer. Stay weather aware, stock your kits, and trust the warnings, because the season has only just begun. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.